everyone, welcome to my channel. It's me, Ogechi. Welcome to Talk On Soon. So for this video I will be simply talking about experiences coming to UK, and I titled this video The Secret of Coming to UK because there are so many things that happen even before people get to the UK, and this video is not to tell you any form of illegal way to come into Britain, but rather to kind of share some memories on what people do when they know they are coming to the UK, or not just UK, but when they are going outside of Africa to stay, if they are traveling. So, and then I'll also be telling you what to expect when you get here. I'm speaking from a personal perspective, so you may have a different experience. Okay, so let's begin. So, there are so many things that you as a migrant or someone coming into the UK to live, I'm looking at people who are looking to come and live in this country, will experience. And there are good and there are bad ones. You will definitely experience the racism. I hope not anyways, but you definitely, if not experience it yourself, you will see it. You also see the other top things like the crimes and everything that happens. What I always say to people is that whatever good that happens in your country kind of happens here. Whatever bad that happens in your country happens here. What I discover is that human beings kind of have similar issues everywhere, despite where they are coming from. So for this video, however, I'm just going to focus on the positive. Well, I'll say positive, but some of the good things that I've experienced in the UK that I think you will experience as well. And I think it's so important that you look for the positive experience, because the negative ones will kind of give themselves to you. It comes without you asking it. But the positive ones, you may kind of have to seek for them or pray that it happens to you. Or hope, one way or the other. Either you seek, pray, or simply it just happens to you. So I'll focus on the positive ones. But before I go into that one, I just want to focus on the first time coming into Britain. So actually before then. So, and some of the strange things and little things that you may even feel. So anyways, let's begin the story. So coming into Britain. So I remember when my mom was coming over, it was all hush hush, hush hush. Like you weren't allowed to tell anyone that your mother was traveling. I didn't even know she was doing something to leave the country of Nigeria, which is where I'm coming from. I saw her always traveling and going out, but she didn't really tell us what she was doing. Maybe she told my elder sister, but for me, I didn't really know. It was towards when her papers were ready and she was ready to travel that I kind of got to know about it. But yet I wasn't allowed, or we weren't allowed to share with our neighbors that my mother was traveling. When she traveled in early morning so that not to attract attention. See, the funny thing is that after looking at these things, I just think to myself, like, is that really necessary? Why can't you share your plans with other people? At least once you've achieved your paper or your documents or anything like that, why not tell someone that you're traveling, if that makes sense? In the same way, it was all like hush hush as well on our own part when we came as to join my mother. And I find it quite strange, in all honesty, because I am thinking like people only wait to come over here and then that's when they'll call you and say, I've arrived in the UK, or I've arrived wherever side of the Western world that they're trying to come to. Anyways, and I always think to myself, why should someone back at home in Nigeria, to say right now, be rejoicing for you when you have often just hidden it from them? And I don't see why it should be celebrated when you come back sometimes. And I thought this thing is quite juvenile to say, because I remember going back to Nigeria and someone asked me what university I went to, because I was told coming from here back to Nigeria, not to tell them that I'm coming from Obodo Oyinbo or abroad, like they will say, but to kind of pretend to fit in. But I think just my attitude and the way I spoke kind of stood out. So the person asked me, and I remember telling him, no, that's good. I'll mention the school that is in Nigeria. I'm like, I schooled in, let's say, University of Lagos. I think that's what I probably use. And he's like, oh, okay. No, I didn't use University of Lagos, but I say the university that was in Nigeria. So, and he's like, oh, okay. And after saying that, I felt so foolish. I'm like, how stupid is it? Just to tell people, tell someone you're coming from somewhere. I know there are so many risks that people say that is associated with it, but then I'm thinking, what is going to happen is going to happen. Like, people know. Even I remember, in fact, I was walking on the street and one family friend saw me. She said, even just looking at my legs and my skin tone coming, he knew I wasn't from here. He didn't even knew it was me from far distance, but he knew this person must be a foreigner. So what I'm trying to get to, one secret to coming to Britain is not like many people keep it like very secretive when they're coming to Britain, and only call people back at home when they've arrived in Britain as if someone is stopping their progress. Anyways, now I don't know if this is true or not, but one of my friend, she herself was coming to Ukraine to study, and on her way to Ukraine she had an accident. When I went to visit her, when I went back home, she told me that it was people that were applying against her progress. So that was how it was taken, because the way the accident happened was very it's very unconventional to say, and it left her literally one leg out that she had. It was a serious accident, and this actually happened in the airport, which was strange. They say someone sent. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that I don't think your village people are after you. Just, if you don't want to tell someone, don't tell them, but don't try and blame people. Anyways, for it, that's one thing. So let's move to coming to UK then. When you come to UK, there are things that you will probably be cultural shocks. That number one for me, cultural shock number one was display of affection. That was the biggest cultural shock. And I remember coming out to the airport and then went to wait for the National Express. This was in Heathrow, and the first time I saw young people that, if not younger than me, but that or as young as I was when I first came, they were making out in front of her. I looked at my mother. I'm like, Mom, are you going to say something? Because in Nigeria, this is not going to happen. In front of an adult, you're kissing, making out, doing all sorts of things, waiting. Anyways, that was one of the things. That was one of the cultural shocks. That was my first cultural shock. And then the weather, you kind of expected it to be cold, but they told me it was summer. I didn't realize summer was winter. But it was like, summer, it was quite cold. Anyways. So that's one of the things. So you definitely experience the cold weathers. Now let's talk about some of the positive things that you may experience. Let's say, for example, if you're struggling to get accommodation, let's say if you're coming as a student, if you're struggling to get an accommodation with a student living, like student hall or student hostel, I think you can search for alternative by asking your university if they have partnerships with like other people that they work with to rent a room for you outside of university, where you actually live with either with a family and you have your own room, or you live with a single person who is looking to rent out room. I have someone who does this as a business. Every 3 to 6 months, another student comes and lives in her house, finish their study, especially most of them are short courses, and then go back. So there is opportunity for you to actually have that first living experience. If you can't get a hostel, or you don't know anyone coming into UK, it's for your university to arrange with a trusted person that you can live with, where you're renting one room, or you pay for living in one room, and you're allowed to use the person's other things like kitchen, toilet and everything. So that's another way. And I knew someone who told me someone lived, students from Nigeria lived with them for about 3 years, and that was a good bargain saving, a lot of saving, that you don't have to worry so much about other bills. But all of these things are done through the university. So that's one good thing that you can actually find in the UK, is that people are willing to share their houses with students. It's mostly matured students or people who are reasonable to say. Okay, let me talk about some of the positive experiences when I came to UK. Is one, this happened to me in secondary school, because I came when I was in secondary school. So in secondary school, when I first came, I told we were discussing about the weather, and the students were discussing about winter and all those things, and they were talking about snow, and they asked me if I've seen the snow yet. I told them no. They're like, oh my gosh, you haven't seen snow yet? I'm like, no, I haven't seen snow yet. So that was one of the things I was looking forward to finding snow that we see on TV in Africa. Anyways, so that was one of the great things. The students were quite nice. Most of them were welcoming, and I didn't really have much issues in school because most of them actually were good. The first thing that they did was actually surprise me with a present. I was like, oh my gosh, that was Christmas. I wasn't expecting it. The first time someone really surprised me with a present, apart from family members at least. They literally came in. I came to school, and after registration, they brought out the presents. It was kind of body lotion and everything. I still have one of the baskets that they gave me today, because to me that is sentimental, and that is my memory. My first time in the UK, that was how I was, the act of kindness that I received. So I thought that was quite good. Another thing is, like, I really like the way, one thing I discovered in Britain is they use a lot of positive words to encourage you. And I remember when what happened? Yeah, exams and results came out, and I looked at my grade. I went in happily in my classroom and was so happy. And then this one of my classmates that was sitting next to me asked me, oh, what did you get for your so and so subjects? I think it was maths, if not, yeah, maths subject. And I told her, and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you. Do you know how much that resonated in my mind? Okay, that was the first time someone has actually opened their mouth and said that to me. In all honesty, except that was in the classroom, I nearly cried because I took that to the heart. So I learned how the effect of positive words, using the word proud, you are brilliant, the word praising someone, even if they are not good at something, but saying it in a way that actually motivates them to do better. For example, I work as a youth worker. Sometimes, some of the young people, some of the things that they do is like not right, but sometimes you can be frank and say that wasn't right. But if they were doing, let's say for example, children, they were drawing something that you didn't like, but to them they were happy with it. It's not for you to say, oh my gosh, that is rubbish. Even if it looks rubbish to you, you can tell them, ask them what is their vision in that. If they did, what colors, why did they use those colors? Because you don't know what was going through a person's mind whilst they were picking the color, drawing whatever pattern, or throwing whatever they want to do on a piece of art, at least. So just using positive and encouraging words is one of the things I really learned in Britain. I know in some places, in Nigeria, I didn't hear that so much, but I think I've come to discover it depends on the family that you're coming from. From my own family, they don't really use praise words a lot, but my mom shows it, which is the difference. But I realized the importance of actually verbalizing it. So I made myself that decision to start using those words. And I loved my IRE teacher, and she always used to use this word, superb, great, brilliant. Whenever I answered a good question, I was like, yes. And that motivated me to even answer more questions, want to do better. So that was one of the good things that I learned from Britain. Is kind of, although you may show that you're proud of someone, and I think that's what a lot of African people are, and I love that. I really prefer someone showing me that they are proud or love me than just speaking it in words. But hearing that positive word made me realize the importance of the words. Saying it's actually what it does to a person's inside. Anyways, like a person's being and the motivation to do better. So that was one of the great things that happened. Another thing, this is again in secondary school, was that one of my science teacher, she wasn't a nice, my science teacher, she wasn't nice to me. No, you guys know that if you're coming from Nigeria, a teacher is almost like placed in a very high regard. They are feared, if that makes sense. And this lady, so having that mentality coming into here, she always used to shout at me. Me myself, I'm always avoidant of teachers. Like, I try not to make them do anything that makes them unhappy, like especially when I was living in Nigeria. So, but this woman, every slightest thing, she will just shout at someone. And later on I realized that was her personality, but to me that wasn't cool, especially if you have someone that is coming into the country newly. She was always shouting at me for, even if I didn't bring my textbook. Is it your textbook? No. She would shout, why didn't you bring your textbook? And this is something each student has graduated from that school has complained, and that is, she is unchanging, and no one really challenges her on her thing. But what I'm trying to get to is that one day it just got a bit too much. I start crying, and you know, I didn't even realize that my fellow students were actually watching out for me. They spoke up, like, why are you shouting at her for? Is it not this? And these ones are able to defend themselves or speak out like that. And I wasn't, because I was trained in a different way, how you have to kind of keep quiet and take in everything, because they were teachers. And if you know what I mean, when you're in Nigeria, like, you are not really in a space to challenge their authorities. And the students that were around me, they spoke up for me, and I didn't even realize they went beyond that and reported it to the teacher, to my head of year. So I only discovered when my head of year called me out and asked me what was going on, and I told her. So you know what, I really thought that act of kindness was really good, because being someone that is coming to the country newly and you don't know their protocol, you don't know anything, you're trying to find your way around and take time to learn about the system. Anyways, that was one of the main things that really annoyed me. And again, I saw the positive aspects of people in Britain. So they do stand up for you. They feel like you're being unfairly treated. Just pray that you meet the nice ones. There are the ones that are just not nice. You will hear a lot of bullying and everything that takes place, but that's the story for another day. So that was one thing that I say one good experience you experience in Britain is, another thing is that if you seek for help, you're sure to find someone who will help you. And when you come to Britain, please do yourself a favor to find amenities, places, find organizations that can help you in regards to living well in this country. I'm so lucky that obviously I came with my family, but if you're living on, even now I'm living on my own, I come to realize that independent living is not a joke. Find organizations, find benefits, places that can help you if you're really struggling. I am not joking. If you come to this country legally, find those people. They can help you with debt. Like, that means like you owing someone, if you can't pay it off, they can help you, give you advice on how to manage your finance. They can help you to tell you where you can get some things for free. They can help you where you can get things for cheap with a voucher or something like that. Seriously, find a local advice center around you in this regard, and your life will be so much easier. I wish I knew this before. So I'm letting you know if you didn't know before. So that's some of the good things that you definitely find in Britain. As I mentioned, the bad ones will give and take, you find them. But I think it's important that I let you know to seek for the good ones that could help you. Now, in regards to employment, I didn't start working straight away, but my sisters did. Agencies are often a great way to step into the world of employment when you are new to the country. You just need experiences that you have and apply it on your CV, And your experiences back wherever country you're coming from still counts. Don't let no one take that away from you. I use my experience back in Nigeria to actually find work in this country. So please make sure it's also something that you do, because they will just throw you to the job and you may just have to learn on the job, or they can train you up for it. In most cases you're trained about the job, and if you don't know, ask someone. But anyways, agencies is often the best way that many people take as a stepping stone to get into permanent work if you don't have the UK experience, because most work will ask you for UK experience. One of the easier jobs actually many people tend to find is in care work, because there is mandatory need for care workers, because there's not enough care workers, so there is a demand for it. So that is an easier way to start. Another one, if you're, this is when, if you don't have any qualifications or anything, you're starting from the bottom up. Another one is cleaning. Okay, like just find factory work, all these things that can help you. So on that note, I will leave this video here. If there is any other things that you think people can benefit or know coming into Britain that can be helpful for them to live positively in the country and live sustainably in a happy way, please do put in the comments below. Please, you will be helping someone else out on the good things that they can even tap into in the area that you live. It would be good to mention the area that you live as well. I live in Birmingham. This is my experience based in Birmingham. So type your area, tell them what they can find that could be very helpful, because it's one thing to be talking about all the negatives that you can find in Britain, but finding the positive is actually the most important thing, because that's what will help you live. And also, if you have any problems, please don't be afraid to talk. If you're from a church, ask your church members. They have the duties. Ask whoever. Listen, there are so many people that can help you out in this country. Just seek out for those people. Don't live in this country as a pauper who has no one, because, or even if you don't have anyone coming here, there are so many people that you can mingle with. Go out. When I came to this country, when I had my day saver is it's a type of transport ticket for buses, or you can even use it for there's ones for train as well. Get a day saver, travel out of your area, find the amenities. I went out myself. I'm very much prompted to do things like that. Find local activities, join them. You will get to know places. Alternatively, if you're a drinker, just get yourself into a pub, see how they interact. It is so important for you to learn how people interact in this country. It will help your life a lot. See how people interact in Britain. It is your life saving. It will help you to know when they are joking, when they are mocking you, when they are actually being helpful, when whatever. Just interact, find activities, places, events. Go. There's lots of free events that goes on here. There's a lot of free things that they give out. Make use of these things. I'm not joking. And you can live sustainably in terms of saving money. You can live happily because you interact with other people. That's my own advice. So hope you like this video. If you do like this video, I hope that you subscribe. Not hope, actually do subscribe. Subscribe to my channel. My channel is very much a random topics, random things I do. In all honesty, it's what I think I say, what I do I show. So it's based on random topics. If you can go to my channel and find out more about the things that I speak about, and also look into the description below to see if there's something that will be of use or related video that you may like to watch. And also check out my other social media handles. Twitter, I'm not really active in that one, let's tell the truth. Twitter and Instagram. Yeah, if you miss me here, Instagram, and my blog, which is called Reflecting Thoughts by Talkinson. So check them out, and please do subscribe. Share this video with anyone else that you think will be helpful. Sharing is caring. Share so that people are not left feeling lonely. Find groups they can find groups, people that are coming from the same areas like they are. Just mingling among your own can help you settle in Britain a lot. okay?